Okay, how do you blow bubbles? I can't do it. I feel like I'm gonna gag choke every time I try.
Well, you don't want to spit the gum out.
If you can blow bubbles, drop a like, cause Welcome back to fksalad. I'm here today with my friend Emily, and she made us a little breakfast bowl. What's in this?
A very gray looking breakfast bowl.
No, it's nice though.
It is hemp hearts, flaxseed, summer breeze vegetables of some form, and some vegan protein.
You make this every morning?
Yes, that is my typical
Try
breakfast.
it. But what's different?
However,
I
didn't put yogurt in this one because Vince is vegan, and
we don't always
how I
need the
feel about
yogurt to function. Honestly, it's a nice little thickener, you're right. But look how thick that is already. Don't tell me you missed the taste of yogurt in there.
Okay, it's still good. It's a very interesting color and texture, though. It's not the most appealing looking food I've ever seen.
We were gonna make
still
craft
good.
dinner or Annie's.
Annie's, yeah. Annie's is like the better, way better craft dinner. Craft dinner's like great and all, but then there's Annie's, and that's just like the next level step up right there.
My Annie's has a vegan one, so I thought we were gonna make that.
The
Okay, but
thickener,
like
it's-
you'd be okay with a vegan butter substitute?
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
there's that. Okay.
Yeah.
As
No,
long
that'd be
as
fine. I've
you're-
never tried it before. I've never tried vegan butter,
It
but
shouldn't even be called vegan butter. It should
Is the
just be
texture
called-
different?
No, it should literally just be called butter. That's what.
just add butter.
Literally just butter. But I did bring another ingredient for this.
What else you gotta add?
Well, I have almonds, but
Vince!
okay. This is kind of a full circle
Vince!
episode. Essentially, I'm not gonna make excuses for myself.
Mm-hmm.
But I was grocery shopping last night with a friend for a friend,
Mm-hmm.
and buying all her groceries as like a payment for a shoot. And
The best guy.
we just were throwing in a bunch of things into the cart, and
Mm-hmm.
I threw these in because I'm like, you want almonds? Like we were kind of in a rush in between shoots.
Yep.
And so it didn't even cross my mind that I was picking up this crazy amount of packaging.
That you will literally toss away. You're not gonna keep that or reuse it.
Yeah, and where do I toss it away? It's just literally gonna go straight garbage.
Is that recyclable? Because this definitely isn't. This is another like thing on packaging.
Okay,
let's
break this down. Actually, yeah. So this is full circle because I brought Emily on today to talk about sustainability.
Mm-hmm.
I'm making a bad first impression.
You're making a bad first impression. However, I do love almonds. However, you are conscientious that you made this bad decision, which at least is better than some people would know. Because there's a lot of you guys and people everywhere that just go out and aren't even aware of what they're buying.
So this is recyclable on top.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I can throw that in the bin.
Okay.
This
Not
is garbage.
garbage. 100%.
This?
I would assume if it's like made of the same.
Oh yeah, it's got a little recycled in there.
Then that's good, but still not the best. You
It's
could have
still not the
taken a
best.
jar or like a container and gone to Bulk Barn and
Correct.
scooped some of your own, which is probably cheaper too. I bet. How much did those cost?
That was like $12.
Yeah, you could have gotten them for
Of
$4 or
course,
$5.
and
Yeah.
I do know that. And to further strengthen that I know that, bam, little Bulk Barn
Look
card.
at you. Hey.
When I went on tour in December, I went to Bulk Barn and I spent $40 on like almonds and seeds.
Shit.
And I just brought all that on
Do you
tour.
ever get pine nuts?
No.
Pine nuts are so expensive. You get like a small handful of them, $40.
Do you do all your grocery shopping in Bulk Barn?
I do a lot of my grocery shopping at Bulk Barn, and also in the bulk section of fancier grocery stores like Metros and stuff, which are expensive, but
Bring your own bags.
needed.
Bring your own
I
containers.
bring my own bags. I'm always like that really young-looking grandmother at heart who will show up with several totes and my little jars, and I'll march my butt into the grocery store and pick up my stuff.
When did you start to become conscious of how much waste you were producing in terms of like garbage and
I
just
get-
one single-use plastics?
I get what you're saying. I think it's like always been something that I've noted in my life, like just because of how much I do love and admire just Earth and everything. However, 3 years ago, I went to Hawaii to visit a girl named Allison Teal who does sustainability documentaries and everything for the Discovery Channel. Amazing freaking experience, but that really kind of gauged like, wow, this is a problem. And it wasn't like anything was like forced down my throat while I was there, but it was just looking at the little things that you can change versus like that's not That's not gonna ruin me. That's not hard. That's not difficult. So like, why don't I give that a jump?
Yeah.
And then from there, it just becomes habit. Like it's not.
Yeah.
It's nothing hard after that. Yeah.
It's literally the same as going to the gym or going vegan. It's
Exactly.
another one of these decisions you can make to
Pretty much.
feel better about yourself and the environment.
Mm-hmm.
I remember on our road trip down to South Carolina, you made it very clear everyone has to be bringing their reusable cutlery,
Cups,
plates, cups,
all that fun
everything.
stuff. We had the biodegradable like paper plates for throwing away and whatnot. But yeah, it's just little things, and I encourage friends around me to do the same. But it's never in like a bad way. It's because once you make the click with somebody, and once you kind of just like remind them, that reminder stays there usually. Like people don't go back to. Just
I think it's the
like,
reminder.
Yeah,
I want to say
like
that
a good thing to do.
I do want to say that we would have done that even if you weren't there.
100%.
I like to think that I would have had reusable cutlery, but then having someone like yourself around, very beneficial.
Yeah, it's just like a good little reminder. And it definitely like does become habit. Like there are things that I've stopped buying or stopped purchasing, even though I love them, just based on what they'll come in, specifically stuff like this. But it makes up for it. Like there's still like other things that kind of like value that out. And one being that I can think of is I used to love Gatorade and like Powerade and stuff. Fucking delicious. But I will not go out. I don't think I've bought a plastic water bottle in a good 3 years now, and I won't buy them even though I love it. It's like, oh my gosh, I want that juice so bad, but it's like I'll just have to find another juice or make my own or something like that. Like so it's just the little things that you can kind of cut out and they become habit.
What would you say is one tip for someone aside from reusable bags and jars grocery shopping? Do you have like one tip you could recommend? You can think on this.
A summer tip I could recommend. I find that convenience is like a big thing with people. Like they're just like, where's the closest place I can go to? What's like the fastest thing I can cook? Like what can I pick up? Timing is like a big thing. Like if you can just put aside an extra half hour or like even an hour and drive to a farmer's market, or maybe actually go into the grocery store and look at what you're buying rather than just like picking the most convenient item, that can definitely save a lot. But sometimes it's just better to like find different places that you can source your food from rather than just saying like, oh, there's a Loblaws, let's just jump in there because it's there, or Walmart or whatever. Like those places are not going to have the most sustainable items. So if you can just give yourself a little bit of extra time to kind of source somewhere, that's really, really helpful.
Great.
Yeah.
I think it's really fascinating too that you are not a fan of fake meats.
No.
Which is good. Do you want to expand on that a little bit? You just don't like the taste of meat in general.
So like, I've been vegetarian now for, I want to say 8 years, 9 years, something like that, something absurd. But even before that, like I never liked meat. Like my parents always joked, they're like, you're like a born vegetarian. You've never enjoyed meat. Like I would literally sit at the table crying because I had to eat a piece of chicken or something. Not my forte. But fake meat to me is the same thing. Like that comes from like the texture, and it's just like, I don't want to eat a steak, so why would I want to eat a protein lentil-filled fake steak that still tastes like steak? It's just a different form, but not my fan. Texture,
Wow,
look,
don't dive into
no,
don't,
like, for
taste,
me,
taste.
personally, I'm not a fan of it.
Is that, I like that. I like to hear that because it's also not the healthiest for you too, in terms of processed foods and stuff.
Especially tofu. Tofu's like produced in a very not sustainable way, for one, but it's just not good. Like if you actually look into what tofu is, like it's like identified as such a vegan protein that's kind of like encouraged for vegans and vegetarians to eat, but it's not like the healthiest choice that you could be making, for sure.
Is there any, other than like raw foods, is there anything that is kind of produced sustainably anymore? Or are we living in a world that's just gonna...
we kind of fucked ourselves.
Well,
Like,
we don't need to dive. We try and keep things positive on this podcast.
Yes, that is true.
But that is a hard thing to keep positive because
100%.
You look at any industry, bananas.
Yep.
You know, I don't know if you know about the banana industry. That one's bent.
So messed. A big one I find even like with raw fruits and vegetables is you can find them raw, you can find them sustainable, you can all that fun stuff, but they'll always have that little freaking sticker on them where it's like that's still like a piece of plastic that comes on your food, and that's definitely one that's overlooked quite a bit. But that still does contribute to some extent. Think about the millions of apples sold every day. Like those will pile up. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's quite the industry.
Yeah, I know.
How did we meet, Emily?
We met.
Just switching up the subjects.
We met years ago. I want to say grade 2, 3. Grade 2 or 3?
Yeah, that's crazy.
I moved to Kitchener in grade 2, if I'm correct. And Vince and I were at Franklin Public School.
Mm-hmm.
I have that name right? Yeah. And after a few years of knowing each other at that school in grade 6, we did our leadership, which is, I say, like, we knew each other and, like, we were buds, but, like, that's where we became, like, better friends and everything
Leadership
like that.
team.
Yeah. Leadership.
What were you leading in grade 6?
I don't
What could we
know.
have possibly done?
I still have that distinctive memory of you and me on stage with pots and pans, like running an assembly, but I can't remember for the life of me what we were, like, what the message was or what we were doing. I just remember literally banging on pots and pans, like, on a stage with you in front of the school for a leadership group. So
I don't remember that. Well,
some strong leading, yeah.
And then we were on the student council together at Eastwood too, right?
Yeah, for a bit there.
And then you kind of ventured into your own industry that was still in the same kind of realm as mine.
Yeah.
So what kind of work do you do right now?
So at the moment I have my own business called M Social, which is essentially I offer services kind of across the board, helping people grow and market their own companies. I try to work with companies that align with my ethics and morals. So I do a lot of like eco-friendly and sustainable work. And then I specialize in accessible media. So I do social media marketing and make sure that the content is available so everyone can have access to it. Whether you be like hearing impaired or visually impaired, it's out there for everyone. So I also offer photography. And then on top of those things, I work part-time for CBC.
You're really doing it all. Actually, you're keeping silly busy. I'm sure.
Yeah. It's good though, and I enjoy it, which is nice. I like waking up every day and enjoying my work. Which is
that's
like
what I was
the
gonna
best
say. Working for yourself must be nice, right?
Such a nice vibe, and honestly, I'm very proud of like creating a flow that I feel like comfortable in. Like some people wake up every day and they go to a job and it's not where they necessarily want to be or like what's driving with them and what aligns with them, but I'm really, really happy that I've actually created something that I feel good about. I'm like pumped to do it every day. I wake up and it's like, oh, like I get to work today, not I have to work today. So that's a really fulfilling type feel. I'm happy that I've created it.
Yeah, and it's nice that we've actually been able to do a few little collaboration projects.
100%.
But I'm gonna have to play a little sneak peek of one here.
Yes.
We'll be right back.
This person, I need this accommodation.
That was more of a corporate promo for your mom's company. But we've done a few collaborations, haven't we?
Yeah, we have.
Digital Glue, Ghosted.
We've even done like way back when our little projects that we would film in each other's backyards.
Oh, we did that.
Hopping around.
Yeah, we've done a bunch of stuff. Actually. That's crazy.
I know.
Think back on all these like little
like our
things.
photo things. I know. It's actually insane.
That's why I wanted to bring you on today, though, not to reflect on the past, but I just know we had a good working relationship together and a good friendship growing up, and I was pretty much expecting you to say what you said in the DMs when I said, "Yo, let's do one of these episodes." Do you remember what you said to me?
With like the list that I sent to you?
Yeah, she sent me. I said, "Okay, well, if you're coming on, what are we really talking about?" Because I try and encourage people to come on and talk about what they are passionate about.
I think I would still have that text if I can. Am I allowed to pull that up?
No.
Shit. Okay.
No.
If I'm correct, I asked you something about Parmesan cheese.
You asked me if we could debate about the amount of Parmesan cheese
Yes.
waitresses put on.
That's an important debate. If you were to have a favorite kind of ice cream on toast, what kind of ice cream and what kind of toast would it be? We're going here. If you can make that. Just keep going then. We'll find another one.
Coconut vanilla.
Coconut vanilla ice cream on what kind of toast?
Cinnamon raisin.
Interesting duo.
Could be nice.
I could see the cinnamon on the vanilla being good.
What about you?
Like a lemon gelato on like a nice rye. Like a grainy rye.
I originally wanted these to all be one takes.
Yeah.
But I'm okay now with kind of going in.
It's a nice flow. Okay. You getting there?
I don't know how to blow bubbles, so I don't know how this is gonna work.
Push the air like from your tongue, if that makes sense.
I can't blow bubbles. I gotta do it.
lay on the top and then we reach in and then back down. I wish you wouldn't have been with it, but.
I couldn't do